Hey, what's up? It's me, Awesome Alley.
And I'm Raisa. Welcome back to another episode in the Be in the Conversation series. Woohoo! Today we are interviewing another author, Gabriel. He is the author of the book Be in the Conversation and his chapter From Introvert to Extrovert. So today we're going to get to know him a little bit better. Let's bring him on. Hi, Mac.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's been a minute. Miss you guys.
Oh, we miss you too. Okay, Mac, so as you know, because you have been here before, we always start off with one question, and that is, who are you and what do you do?
I am a creative right now, and I'm trying new things. I never thought I'd be writing a book. I always thought it'd be an idea that'd be far-fetched, but being in the conversation was a perfect opportunity.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. So we're actually going to be talking a lot more about the book. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey up to this point, writing the book?
Writing the book was it was a new experience. I had a lot of fun doing it. I think what was really interesting was really articulating my ideas and like breaking down my experiences and making sure that I'm using it as a teaching moment for the readers. That was what I really had to focus on, and that was really fun too.
Oh, I like that. Actually, I saw a video the other day by Jordan B. Peterson. He's a university professor at the University of Toronto who teaches psychology, and he was saying how the best thing that people can do today is actually start writing. This helps develop their critical thinking, right? Because they have to do the research. They have to come up with their point and formulate their argument properly so they can think and make sure they get their point across and really learn how to influence people and think through the problem. So I'm glad that was one of the lessons that you learned. Can you tell us in 3 sentences or less, what is your chapter about?
My chapter is about pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone socially.
And what do you mean, like socially? Just in social circles and relationships? How are we pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone?
To be honest, when it comes to pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, we all have those moments where maybe we're at an event or maybe we're just, we're in a situation where we could meet somebody who might have a positive.
Somebody really wants to talk to you.
No, busy man.
Just like that, right? Yeah. They get busy. But so what was the question? It was getting out of your comfort zone socially, right? Yeah. So when it comes to really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you want to just let go of the things that are in your.
Do you need to take that real quick?
We'll kind of we'll take that from there.
We're good.
Are you okay?
Sure.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right.
Just that, right? Like at the end of the day, if you want to meet new people and you want to be in situations where you could be, and basically what I'm saying is you have to be uncomfortable to proceed, right? Like if you're very introverted and that was how you were raised, that's how you come up, and that's how your story goes, and you want to meet new people, you have to accept that you have to step out of your comfort zone. And that's kind of something that I had a really hard time accepting until I just kind of made the decision to just do the uncomfortable and grow, right?
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely understand what you mean by that. Going from being an introvert to an extrovert, you said you had to go through that, that little period of that transitioning period, right? So share your story with us. What was your journey like so far? How did you do that change? What were the things that you had to go through?
Yeah, what was your turning point?
My turning point, to be honest, was the first day I did door-to-door sales. I was selling packages door-to-door, and that was a completely new experience. I never thought I'd be doing a job like that. I didn't think that was even a profession. But that really progressed my my social abilities because I felt like I was really very introverted. I was very to myself. I never really wanted to meet new people. I never cared to meet new people. I just kind of wanted to just have my own time and do me. But when you're meeting new people and you're trying to sell something, you pretty much have to think like them.
Mm.
You have to get out of your head, and instead of thinking like, oh, I want this and this is what I want, this is my story, you gotta be like, okay, who is this person? What is their story? What's their problems? What are they trying to solve? And once you have that approach and apply that to your life, you leave those mental stories where like, oh, you just focus on yourself, or if you're for example anxious and you're just like really obsessed about that thing,
Mm-hmm.
gotta just let go.
So, what was your deciding factor to do door-to-door sales? Like, what got you into that?
Making money, man. Making money. I was trying to make money.
Make money. See, so,
That's
and did you carry on that throughout?
Yeah.
That motivation to make money, did you carry that through your whole? Was that the driving factor for the whole experience, or was there a turning point where you're like, all right, let me continue to get uncomfortable?
Honestly, making money has always been something that I've always focused on, mainly because I never had much, right?
Mm.
Up in Africa, we had just the bare minimum, right? We had things to survive, right? When you come to the first world country, you start thinking different. You wanna go. You wanna take your family to places they were never even thinking they'd be, right? Like, for example, my family came here. They finally got their first property. I'm extremely proud of them for that. But I want them to get like the first 10 properties. Like that's where I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's just me wanting to give back to my people.
I love that. I love that. They brought you over. I were you born here or somewhere else?
I was from Tanzania, Africa, East Africa. I came here 2011.
Wow.
I love.
Okay.
So you were talking about a little bit about like having that anxiousness and trying to connect with people as well. You obviously had that feeling. How did you overcome that feeling when you knocked on the door? Like, what was racing through your head? How did you calm yourself down?
Meditation is a cheat code. If you learn meditation, you'll master a lot of things, because you kind of learn how to calm down the mental chatter. Your mind is always, it's a machine. It's always moving forward. You guys experience this. You do different things, and you gotta learn to just let it calm down and live in the moment. Don't overthink. Do something else.
I love that. I love that. Calm down, live in the moment. It's interesting. Actually, there was a YouTube channel. I can't remember the exact name right now, but he was explaining how with the brain and the way we think, we have that one part of our brain that's super hyper focused, right? You give it something, that goes. You could say it's like your subconscious, right? And then with your consciousness, it can only focus on a certain amount of things before it starts to get overwhelmed, right? So maybe 5 things. And at that point where it starts to get overwhelmed, that's when we start to feel anxious. That's when we start to feel more stressed out, because these things, right, they're taking up our mental capacity. So in that moment of meditation where you can just clean the slate for a second, calm down, let that part of your brain take a second and breathe and enjoy that moment, you can then hit like a reset. The time's going, you hit the pause button for a quick second, and then you can jump back in.
I definitely agree with that. And I think that kind of leads us into our next question, and that is, Mek, so what does mindset mean to you? What kind of mindset do you have as an entrepreneur and now as an author?
My mindset is knowledge, strategy, execution. Get knowledge, strategize, execute. And that's my formula. That's kind of what I do with everything I do. It wasn't really something that I came up with myself. I learned that from my mentors, right? You meet people who are further ahead in your journey, the journey that you want to embark in, and they have lessons that they learned along the way. And if you can cut your learning curve, definitely take advantage of that, right? And yeah, that's my methodology: knowledge, strategy, execution. That's pretty much what I apply to everything.
Knowledge, strategy, execution.
Yeah, you also said cutting the curve, and in your chapter you mentioned a few lines that are like that, like, why are you waiting if you have the tools right now? So as a reader, what is one thing you want your readers to take away from your chapter?
Application, execute. If you're somebody who feels like you're not stepping outside of your comfort zone enough socially, and you see that there's tools from the book, maybe not from my chapter, maybe from somebody else's chapter, take those tools and apply them. Sometimes we end up just reading and consuming content and not executing. I think a lot of us kind of get caught up in that. When we're interested in something, maybe we're just watching YouTube videos or reading books, but we're never actually doing it.
Yeah.
Writing, maybe if that's fitness, maybe if that's business. Sometimes we read a lot of business books, we don't apply them. We read a lot of mindset books and like these self-development books, and we don't apply them. And application is the most important part of the process. If you don't apply what you're learning, applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power.
Knowledge is potential power, as Tony Robbins would say. And just
exactly.
Yes. I'm curious. Have you heard of the YouTube channel Yes Theory?
Yes, I've heard of Yes Theory.
Sorry about that. Had a technical glitch. So I'm sorry. What was your response to that?
Yeah, I heard of Yes Theory. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because their main message there is also to seek discomfort, right? So, you guys got two similar messages about, seeking discomfort and, stepping outside of your comfort zone. So, how can, a person who's an introvert take small steps? Do you suggest they take small steps or just jump right into the pond?
I'd say if you're somebody who is stuck in a mindset of just, not being able to execute, I'd say start taking baby steps. Say hi to people. Go to Starbucks, go to Tim's. Work your way up. You don't have to do something crazy. You don't have to start this crazy event or anything like that. Just be yourself and express yourself.
Do you think being an introvert and extrovert is situational or a person's personality? Like, I am an extrovert. I gotta be loud. I gotta be, center of attention. Or it's like, oh, in certain situations, I want to step up in here.
Mm-hmm. I think it just kind of stems from your self-identity. What you identify yourself to be, the story in your head, and it's just the development that you've had from when you were young up until where you are today. It wasn't random, right? Like nobody's just like, oh, I'm an introvert now, or I'm an extrovert now. It's not really like that. It's more so something that you've kind of ingrained in your character. So you can definitely develop habits and strategies to step out of your comfort zone and enjoy being an extrovert. But I'm not saying that you're going to be completely on that realm, because everybody has their own story. If you're an introvert from like, when you're young up until you're in your mid 20s, and you become an extrovert up until you're in your 30s, 40s, yeah, I guess you could change. You could be a completely different person, but you're still going to be you at the end of the day. You're going to enjoy that time with yourself. Yeah, you're not going to let that go, right?
And,
I like that.
And in your personal experience as well, do you feel like you have like a different business personality from your own self-identity, or is it all in one?
That is a good question. Do I have a business personality?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would say definitely that, being an introvert and extrovert would be situational, right? Like we have the dominant one, like you were saying, your self-identity. But then I think, would you agree with me that maybe if you're an introvert and then you have to go speak on stage, right? You then go switch kind of to an extrovert to be that loud person, center of attention, kind of having to deal with it. But then, once you get off stage, you kind of go back to being yourself, because I know that's a common thing with some people. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would say that's correct. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys. Every time I'm speaking to a crowd, I'm a little nervous at first, but then as I start doing it, I just get in the flow. And I think you guys developed that really, really well. I've seen you guys on stage. You came to the office. You performed amazing. I'm sure you've done other presentations as well that were phenomenal. And it's really that moment where, like, you just start doing it. I noticed, Ali, when Ali's performing, he's amazing, man. He just kind of gets in the flow, and he's moving. He's in. But yeah, what do you guys think? How's your guys' experience been with that?
Well, I kind of agree with Ali as well. There's times where you like go to an event before COVID and you see these speakers who like really practice and really memorize their presentations and do so well, and they win over the crowd, and then you try and go to take a picture with them and they're very shy and secluded and like don't want people to touch them, and it's like it's good to see their real side afterwards and see how they actually are. Not to say it's a bad thing.
Mhm.
I know I've been like that too, where I can fully say that my family has helped push me out of my comfort zone going into an event 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, go say hi and go network, and you're just like, no, I don't want to move. So I somewhat agree with that, because I feel like yes, you may have a stage identity, but it's also important to keep that stage identity for the entire event or the entire webinar, or even with your business itself, because you don't want to be switching up on people. And then if they're not close to you, they're not going to understand that you have two, but they're just going to think like you're faking it.
Mhm.
But I think that kind of goes back to even networking and that whole idea. So as an introvert, but now you're an extrovert too, Mech. So what are some of your best networking tips?
Networking tips: talk to everybody, say hi to everybody. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Talk to everyone, meet everyone, and also I would say to that, also, yeah, definitely what Meg said. So what Meg said, talk to everyone, meet everyone, and don't bring your prejudgments of past experience onto that person, because there's definitely times personally where I've had a previous thought just based on someone's look, and then talk to them, and there's something completely different. I'm amazed. Um you know you have these preconceived notions of what person is supposed to be by the way they dress, by the way they carry themselves. But then when you actually talk to them and they feel a little bit more comfortable around you, you get to learn their true side, and it's really amazing to see the opportunities that open up when you go up to someone and you have that soul to soul connection, rather than just a hi and then move on.
That's true, man. Exactly. Like a lot of people have been through different experiences than us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta think they might have learned something that we don't know. So definitely, be open minded to different people. Have you guys been to networking events where you met somebody and it's completely crazy what you thought with them before, and then they ended up being somebody who ended up completely different? For example, I met somebody who I thought was just a regular guy, and apparently he was one of the leading faces when it came to like the beginning of the pandemic, fighting against like, the police and down bad
Wow.
and stuff like that.
I
You
think.
never know.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Very good.
I said for me, I think the person who we thought was the biggest shift. There was two actually. So one, I remember the first time I saw one of our friends, our mentors, Raymond Aaron. I remember when we saw him. At first, I saw him on stage. I thought he was just the MC, but he was the main speaker. It's like blown away, right? And then the other one would be our other mentor, James McNeil. He was at the time sitting in the back of the room, being a nice, cheerful guy, helping people hang up their coats and stuff, being that serving person that he is. And then he goes up, and we're seeing him at different stations. Like, what? That's him? We were just talking to him. It's so crazy, to see how just like we said about the speakers, how they can shift from being that big stage personality to just being that kind, kindred soul, helping everybody, or that shy person who wants to stay to themselves a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry to kind of jump in here. There are a lot of young people that actually watch this too, and there's like, you're a young person yourself, right? You're like, what, 23, 20, right? I don't know. Anyway, in your 20s, and there's a lot of young adults who are also going to be reading this book. So what advice can you give to somebody in high school that's just trying to meet new people, other than saying like hi, hello? Like, what if your hi is like a very awkward? I know there's times when I would go into like the gym that we go to, and I would say hi, and then none of the guys could hear me because I think I'm talking loud, but it's like a hi, and then it trails off. So like, what are some other techniques that you could give for young people, or people even in high school?
Do the things that you enjoy. Like, for example, if you're in high school, I guess if you're just jumping in, just if you like sports, go to sports and meet people there. You know, just stick with the things that you enjoy and be okay with trying new things. If you don't like sports, then try that. Or if it's art, different things. Be open minded. You kind of can't really ignore the fact that you have to step outside your comfort zone and project your voice and just go for it, right?
I like that. And also I would say, it's being open to everyone, right? Even if it's just a random person coming up to you, I'd say treat everyone the same. With that sense of respect, even if they don't give it back to you at first. And to what you said, sports, best thing you can. I think for teenagers, especially.
I definitely think you should not respect somebody who doesn't respect you, though. It should definitely be mutual. Like, of course, meet new people, but come on, man. You gotta have some pride, for who you are, and you gotta believe in yourself. Like, you should not let yourself be around people who might not, project good energy towards you. Like, there's no reason to be around those kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, your time and your value is too much. Like, you can't get your time back, right? If somebody doesn't respect you, then don't spend any time with them.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Not spending the time, but I mean on that first interactions and stuff. It's not to lower yourself to that level, of disrespecting them. But sports, I would say, great way to get into that, and not switching your personality just to please someone else. I think that's the big one there.
Exactly.
Cool.
Okay, so we are almost nearing off, and we have one question for you, our last question, and that is, if you could have a billboard anywhere in the world, where would it be and what would it say?
Where would it be and what would it say? I would have it on Dundas Square, downtown Toronto. And what would it say? Live your best life.
Live your best life.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
I love that.
Perfect. Dundas Square, live your best life from Mech Gabriel right there. Nice big billboard. Would your face be on it, or would it just be like
just the text.
Pardon?
Just the text as it is.
Just a text.
I like it. Simple and bold. Well, amazing. Okay, so that was kind of like our last question. I love how you ended off with live your best life. Okay, to find our book, you can actually pre-order it on Amazon. It's called Be in the Conversation, and it will be launching this week on July 19th. We're going to have
next week.
Yeah, Monday next week. So we're going to have everything coming in. You can read more about Introvert to Extrovert by Mech Gabriel, and we will see you next time on another episode of
Where can they find you, Mech?
Yes, Mech.
Instagram.
Your
Plug
Instagram.
Yourself. You could find me best through email, kseworldwide@gmail.com. Secondary, you can find me on Instagram at the beginning, middle, and end. That's it.
Beginning, middle, and end. All right, perfect. Thank you, Mech, for joining us today. This has been another episode of Be in the Conversation, and this was presented by APSO. Awesome people.
Shaping our world.
Remember, you are awesome.
And you can make the world a better place.
Bye.